and thank you for joining me here in my studio. Had a little project share for a journal, and this one I would really love if you are viewing this video to have some input, because I'm considering a class similar to this book of doing a class, and if anyone is interested in that, I would love to hear you chime in what your thoughts are, that kind of thing. This little book is just a chunky little fun book. My favorite books to make are small books. I do larger journals, bigger books, other things. In between some of the fussy work, like this one had a lot of fussy work on it, and due to the condition with my hands, I have to rest in between, so I might go back to just like more of a junk journal style to give my hands a rest, and then I'll come back and do more of the fussy, detail type work. This little book is just, like I said, a little chunk. It's 4 by 5 and 2.5 inches thick. 2.5 inches thick seems to be my magic number, 2.5 to 3 inches thick. But I love the chunkiness of it. I don't know what it is. And when I was a little girl, they used to have these, I don't remember what they were called, but they were little chunky books like this. They maybe were not quite that, they were maybe 2 inches thick. And they would be like whole novels, and I'm thinking they were Whitman books. I can't remember. And I used to have some. I don't know what happened to them, but I just remember always loving small books. And I had a set of small little books when I was little, and then I had a set of these little mini books. And I just have always loved miniature, smaller things, So, hence the little chunky monkey book. Okay, enough of that. Let's get on to the book. This book is made from an old, I think it's from the 1930s, I think, the cover. It was just I bought a stack of book covers. They're just covers. There's nothing in them. A seller was selling just the cover pieces. And so I bought a stack of these, so I've got quite a variety to choose from. So I used one of those to create this. This has a hidden binding spine. It's not bound on the outside or anything. And it's 3 signatures. I forgot how many pages I put in each one. I guess I can kind of count that. And I did a lot of metal work on this one, as far as some of the detailing on the outside of the book, just to give it a little book jewelry. So the front is a collage with some slow stitch. It's vintage papers. I think this is a book card from let's see, what's the date on that? 1965. I know that there was a 1963 stamped on there too, somewhere. Yeah, 63, 64, and 65 was this book piece. Just some fun fabric. This flicker right here is actually one of my hand carved stamps. And then I accented it with the little white paint, some bead sewing, and some wire weaving to give them kind of a little shine. The spine has a bezel that I made, and the title of this book is Beauty of Nature. That's what it says inside the little, I don't know if the light's shining, if you can see that. And then I made a little pendant to hang on there. This is a stone that I found in my yard. And just some wire and beads and things to do that. The back has the signed plate on the back. Just left the back pretty plain. And I used some handmade paper throughout this book. I'll link this specific paper in the description. I think I got this in a pack that I got from Amazon. For the closure, I did a little eyelet and a little beading and some more wire wrapping to make a little hook that comes over. And here's the little bird in the hook there. And here's the, I don't know if you can see that very well, the little wire thing. It's kind of got the same design as this, but it's just tiny. Just kind of sticking out there to give it, you know, a little pizzazz. Okay, this book features all the imagery in this book are from hand carved stamps that I did. So that's going to be, and it is a nature theme book. So here we've got an owl and a dragonfly that has been beaded. Maybe I can kind of, there's the owl. And there's the dragonfly. I carved these stamps probably 2 years ago and I never used them. And these were the test prints and I had just kept the imagery and I thought I'm going to do something with those. So okay, yeah, I remember now. Each one of these signatures is decorated front and back with the signature piece here. Then it just has writing paper. This is the size book I always call my quote keeper size. Like if you want to jot down a quote or just a really short little snippet of something, maybe a scripture you want to memorize or remember, or I don't know, something fun off your fortune cookie. I don't know, whatever. These are just little snippet journals. I call these my quote size because I love quotes and I love to keep quotes, and this is a great place to do that. So each one of these signatures has the handmade paper on the inside, and then it has a variety of dyed papers that are in here. Just like I said, just a variety of, I don't know if these are tea or coffee. I really can't tell. Sometimes you can't tell the difference. They're so much the same, you know. Just a variety of those. And then we get to the back portion of the signature, and there is a little butterfly. Whoops, let's see. Am I holding that right? There we go. That's better. And this is stitched to some vintage silk and a piece of a roofing shingle. I don't know. I pick up odd things. Some tea bags, some vintage, it wasn't a document, some vintage document, and some other vintage paper. And then on the other page, we have some more of that ribbon that we used on, oh, that was another project. That was not on this project. Some vintage silk, some kind of leather, and this lifts up, and inside, whoops, is a little bird in a wire nest on an old piece of document paper. So, and that's in these are also two of my stamps that I carved. And this is some vintage velvet and some little stitching. Again, the paper is handmade paper and then hand-dyed papers. It's all just, you know, a variety of papers that are in there. Then we get to this portion. Whoops. Trying to stay in frame. I'm sorry about that. Get to this portion. This is another one of my stamps, and this is an image transfer behind it and some of the sewn beading and some slow stitch. I took a piece of silk and made a leaf, and when you lift the leaf up, there is another hand carved stamp. It's also on some silk and some hand painted papers. Again, I'm not going to, you know, take time to flip through because it's just the same. And then here is the last one. And here is another little butterfly. I don't know if you want to call it a butterfly moth. Some vintage screening, some slow stitch, some vintage velvet with wire. And then when you lift it up, there is an image transfer of a little bird under there and a flower. And then the very back, those are two more stamps of a squirrel and a tree stump. And all these have been enhanced by, except for, you know what, I see I didn't do the black ink on this. I need to go back and do that. I had used black ink and white ink to enhance these after I stamped them. But I see I didn't do that there. And then again, we're back to the back of the book. And like I said, I was thinking of doing something similar to this. You can see that this has the hidden spine, you know, the little extra spine on the inside. And I was considering this, a book similar to this, for a class. So if anyone would be interested in that, please feel free to do so. And, or not do so, say so. And I would really like your input on that. And I wanted to thank you for joining me here in the studio, and wish you a good day, and I'll see you around the studio.